What's up, family and friends? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you an Easter edition of Waging War on Mediocrity. First of all, I want to thank you all for joining me as I break bread tonight. This will be going out on YouTube and Facebook. If you would, please subscribe to my YouTube page. Click the bell twice so you automatically get updates when the motivational teacher to the masses is going live. Because I'm on a new platform, I really can't see who's out there. So please, if you're joined, hit me up. Let me know you're. What's up? What's up? Ernest Speaks in the house. What's going on, bro? Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Hey, please, if you're out there, help me wage war tonight, man. We got this chat box down here. I know the individuals looking at me. Hey, shoot, holla at your boy out here tonight, man. There's somebody out there that needs to see and hear from you as well. So let's get to it. This Easter has been a little different for a lot of us because now with the social distancing, normally we get our Sunday's best, we get our nice brand new suit, or we get another suit clean really well. Y'all feel me? For some of us out there, usually we get our Sunday best dress, we get our kids all dolled up, or you got your little boys, you get them all man up, and you get ready, you go to church, and you're ready for some Easter speeches. And they do their Easter speeches, and you hug and you fellowship and you go home. This Easter has been a little different. This Easter has been completely different in the fact that we're not allowed to fellowship. We weren't allowed, into places of worship. Families were not. Hey, Tanya, thank you for joining us. We weren't allowed to go to friends' house to eat dinner afterwards. So this Easter has been a little different, but the motivational teacher to the masses wanted to come on tonight and share a little love. I wanted to share the love. I wanted to bring a waging war attempt or concept Easter, man. I wanted to bring this waging war mediocrity spin to Easter. Here we go, y'all. Please like, share, host watch parties. Let's see, can we get this thing up to 30 eyes? I know this is a different platform where we're streaming live on YouTube and we're streaming live on Facebook, but I know you all can help us get there. So let's wage war tonight. Yeah. Tonight, I want to talk to you for a brief moment about born into greatness. Born into greatness. Yeah, we're going to break bread. What's up, Shamika? Born into greatness. So many of us, we gain our concept, or we gain our self-confidence from the fact of where I came from, what I've had growing up. And some of us that haven't had much coming up, sometimes we're not self-assured because of how we came up. See, our upbringing determines a lot of where we are in life. It's amazing that when we were created, God had a plan for us in the womb, and bam, we were born. What's up, Helen? Thank you for joining us tonight. We were born, and our environment started to shape who we were becoming. I'm about to break bread tonight. If y'all hang in here tonight, I guarantee you, Easter edition of Waging War on Mediocrity, it's gonna change your life tonight. Go ahead and like, share, host watch parties, subscribe to this page. We are gonna change some lives tonight. I'm telling you what we are. And so a lot of how we think about ourselves, even was given to us as a youth. And all of these concepts and thoughts have grown up into us. And the reason why a lot of people, not people looking at me out here today. What's up, Elkie? Happy Easter. Hey, Mom. I got some people hopping on here, jumping in this conversation. A lot of us, even today, a lot of the struggles that we have come from our past, or the ability to be able to see ourselves as God has created us has come from our past. A lot of the misconception, a lot of the self-love, or whether it's self-hatred, a lot of the belief that I could go above and beyond, or the belief that I was meant to be below average, all of that stems from our environment when we were born. So the motivational teacher to the masses attempt today, yeah, boy, this is going to be awesome. Boy, I'm getting chill bumps as I'm sitting here thinking about how awesome this is going to be. The motivational teacher to the masses attempt today is to take you back to when you were really created, and to help you see that you were born into greatness on this Easter Sunday. I know Easter is about the resurrection of Jesus, but also Easter is about the resurrection of these eyes that are looking at me today. I am going to break bread. It is your day to resurrect. They said right now, COVID-19, that we should be afraid. No, it's your day to resurrect. They said we can't have mass services. We can't celebrate during this time. No, today is the day. Today is the day. Let's resurrect some things. I always believe this. I believe this. And that there are always moments. Boy, I'm about to break bread tonight. And this is all the setup. There are moments in life. Yeah, I'm about to break bread. I call them, there are defining moments in life where we can set the course for the next 10 years with one decision in this moment. I remember the first defining moment of my life is when I was in high school and where I had to choose to go to college. Now, I grew up in a high school that was on academic probation, but I went to the college that's considered Vanderbilt, the Harvard of the South. Now, I had an opportunity to make a decision in fear because I had a lot of other places that I could have gone, but I made the decision to go to Vanderbilt in faith. And that was a decision that set me up for the rest of my life. What do you mean, motivational teacher? It was defining because I chose faith when fear would have been easier, but I saw how different people live. Like that, I saw kids driving BMWs and 4Runners to school. I saw kids who had trust funds, and I was thinking like, man, there's another level of living that I haven't been introduced to. And see, tonight is going to be one of those defining moments for you. Yep, born into greatness. Yeah, it's Easter Sunday. Let's take it back. Let's take it back to the word. So John 12:24 says, very, very, I say unto you, except a grain of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it brings forth much fruit. Yeah, let's bring this back to Easter. We talking about the death resurrection of our Lord and Savior. One thing that Jesus had to do was die, born into greatness, right? I like reading Genesis. Genesis is the foundation of everything. I call it the law of Genesis. The law of Genesis says that the seed is always within itself. Let me prove it. If I wanted to grow apples, what kind of seed would I? An apple seed. I could grow an apple tree, and I can get apples off the tree. If I wanted to grow a peach tree, I would have to sow a peach seed into the ground, nurture it, and I can grow a peach tree, and soon I can get peaches. Or if I want to grow an oak tree, I would have to bear an acorn. The acorn becomes an oak tree. The seed, the law of Genesis, the seed is within itself. You all, I'm going somewhere tonight. Stick with me long enough to be able to change your life. The seed is always within itself. So if Jesus, if a grain of wheat die, it'll abide alone. But if it die, it brings forth much root. Remember, the seed is always within itself. So if God was to sow Jesus into the earth to die and come back, what kind of harvest would God be expecting? Because when Jesus was on this earth, he was an agent of change. He came and his goal was never to blend in. His goal, he was so bad. They were about to stone this woman. He stooped down on his knees and wrote, "He who without sin cast the first stone." And all the people walked away. He was a bad boy. It was never his intention to blend in into average America. That's for us. It was never his intention to come and just float through life. When they found Jesus at 12, he was finding himself in the word. What do you mean, motivational teacher, to the masses? When he was 12, he was seeking and searching who he was supposed to be. I'm about to break bread. I'm telling you, at the age of 12, Jesus had a growth plan. Boy, I just broke bread. We didn't hear from him from 12 to 30 because he was somewhere finding himself. My question to you, you've been born into greatness, but have you taken time to find yourself? Holla at your boy out there, people. Have you taken time to search yourself out? Or have you been allowing your auntie or grandma or cousin or aunt or uncle or my friend down the street, or my ex-boyfriend, or even my current boyfriend? Have you allowed them to find you and determine who you are? Or have you been found looking in the scrolls in the Bible trying to determine who you are? Yeah, he had to find himself. I'm going to break bread before this motivational, before this Easter waging war event is over. I'm going to break bread. You got to take time to find yourself. I'm breaking bread. You don't have to go to the apps. You don't have to go to Everest, but you got to take time to find yourself. You have been born into greatness. When you've been birthed into greatness, you don't have to do anything special to be great. You just got to be you. I just broke bread. Some of you all trying so hard to compete with the Joneses. You're trying so hard to be somebody, to compete with somebody on your job. You were gifted and born into greatness. You don't have to try to be great. Greatness is in your DNA. Boy, I just broke. Unless the seed go down, it produces more. We're celebrating the death, burial, and resurrection. Yeah, we're celebrating. It's Easter Sunday. We're celebrating it. But we're going to also celebrate your resurrection, because the seed went down. And to the level of which God sowed is the results that he expects back. You were born into greatness. God saw so much value in you that he so loved the world that he gave. He gave his only begotten son. It was for you. It was for me. This is Waging War Easter edition of Breaking Bread. You don't have to try anymore. Oh, man, because you don't feel great about yourself. You've been trying so hard to work up success. You don't have to work up success. It's in your DNA, baby. You were born into it. I'm breaking bread up in here better than what y'all saying out there. I'm breaking up in here, boy. You were born into greatness. You ain't gotta try. You ain't gotta try to jump over no rocks. You ain't gotta try to do all this other fancy stuff that other people gotta do. You just gotta have faith, because what? You were born into greatness. I'm gonna break bread. Back in the law of Genesis, when he created man, he said, "Let us make man what? Image and our likeness." Let me break bread right there. When you think about the attributes or the characteristics of who God is, what are they? What are they? I want y'all to come on, y'all chime in here. Use this chat box. When you think about the attributes of God and the characteristics of God, what are some of those characteristics? Because we are made in his likeness. I'm going to break bread up in here tonight. When you think about the attributes of who God is, number one, he is a creator. You were born into greatness. He is a creator. He looked at, I'm about to break bread. Hey, follow your boy. I'm telling you, your life could never be. This is the right night to be here tonight. He looked at an earth that was without form and void, and he said, let there be light. And there was light. You don't have to try to create the life you want. Speak to it. He said, let there be, and there was. How often are you using your tongue? How often are you using your ability to create the life you want, to be more valuable so that others around you can run with it? Oh yeah, I'm breaking bread right now. You were born into greatness. You have been given an ATM card with unlimited funds by birthright. But it takes time for us to learn who we are to be able to exercise the birthright. There's a certain genetic code that you got to have to get all the stuff that comes along with being born and gifted into greatness. I'm breaking bread up in here tonight, people. Man, I'm breaking bread up in here. This is the Waging War edition on mediocrity. I'm breaking bread. When we think about some of the attributes of who God is, Elke said he's true. I'm made in his image. I'm made in his likeness. If he's truth, then guess what? I'm made in his image. I'm made in his likeness. I am truth. I got to learn how. Boy, I'm about to break bread. I remember watching Spider-Man. There were two versions of Spider-Man. They had the regular Spider-Man you see with the blue and the red, but then you had the Spider-Man with all the black. And the black had taken over the genetics of all the blue and red Spider-Man. And the suit turned black because what was on the outside was a picture of what was on the inside. So it messed up his genetic code and he went black. And until Superman was able to get his genetic code back right, that suit stayed black. And see, some of us out there, we've gotten our genetic code mixed up. We're not operating in our given rights as a believer and as one of authority on this earth. We're not living in the lane we should be living in. Instead of us living life in the lane we should be living in, we've traded it in because it's going to require more faith. It's going to require more believing. It's going to require us going hard. It's going to require, one of the attributes of God is love. It's going to require us acting in love when somebody is hating us. Yeah, I'm going to break bread tonight. We've been born into greatness. See, that's one thing I love about what I discovered about me. I can't talk about anybody but me. What I discovered about me is I don't have to try to drum up anything. I don't have to try to conjure up. I don't have to cheat on my taxes. I don't have to cheat people out of money. I don't have to create schemes, sell drugs. I don't have to do any of those things to get where I'm supposed to be in life. Why? Because I was born into it. I've been born into greatness. The seed went down. We're made in his image and in his likeness. Man, that's awesome right there. I got some more people chiming into that conversation. My mom said, speak in it. Must learn the birthright. Yep, we got to learn our birthright. The reason why most of us live beneath where we're supposed to be right now is because we've neglected to exercise our birthright. There's no way that you're made in God's image and his likeness, and he created you to live in lack. There's no way he created you to live in part. There's no way he created you to be in hatred. He created you to be going through life half speed. Appreciate it, Stanley. There's no way he created you just to barely be able to get by. There's no way he didn't create you without a defined or definitive purpose for your life. There's no way. And the reason why most of us are just barely getting by because we're living in dogma, somebody else's opinion for our driving our decisions. When we came up in our youth and we had that misconception of who we were, that is driving your decision making, which has landed you at the place where you are today. But all of that can change. You just have to understand your birthright. You've been born into greatness. You have been born into greatness. And the thing I love about greatness, the thing I love about God and I love about greatness, I am going to break bread in this Motivational Monday. This is the Easter edition of Waging War on Mediocrity. You were born into greatness. Stop fighting it. Stop fighting who you are. You were born into greatness. Don't you know you got to try really, really hard? I'm going to break bread right now. A fish is a fish. Yeah. You see a fish in the water, that fish is amazing. Boom. You see a fish on land, that fish is a failure. Yeah, I'm breaking bread right now. You see a cheetah on land, that cheetah is fast. That cheetah can fly north of 70 miles per hour. But if you see a cheetah in water, the piranhas would tear it up. Yeah. Elephant, huge. They're big. Boy, they're big. Their size is their strength. You see a lion. When they growl, it almost trembles at the earth. That's what the lion was created to do. I am about to break bread, but if you see that lion in the water, or if you see that lion out of its atmosphere, it ceases to have that same strength. And likewise, you were born into greatness, but you just a fish out of water. I'm breaking bread right now. What's up, Sarah? I'm breaking bread right now. It's time for you to get in your lane. You've been born into greatness. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Yeah. I need for you to tap into who you were created to be. I need you to tap into that confidence that comes from God alone. Fish don't have confidence because they just fish. They got confidence because they're in the element, and what they do it well. See, your confidence comes from you getting to your element. You have a birthright. You were born into greatness. I like what Elka just said. You are the daughter and son of a king. Do you dare think that if I'm a king, I will have my prince out there in lack? Boy, I'm breaking bread right now. No, No, that's why, man, I'm breaking bread right now. I'm getting so far ahead of myself. But if I'm breaking bread, let's keep breaking it. Hey, guys, like, share, host watch parties with this video. We're going to change some lives. This is the Easter edition of Waging War on Mediocrity. What's up, Medina? This is it. We are breaking bread. You were born into greatness. Let me get back to where we were going. Get back on. I went away for a minute, but I'm back. You're created in his image and his likeness. And he told you to, number one, be fruitful. I just broke bread. If you don't get anything else from this video, you need to hang out here for the next 5 minutes. He told you to be fruitful. Let me break bread. Let me break bread. You're created in his image and you're created in his likeness. There's no way we can be fruitful unless we're connected to the source of what our fruit should be. I'm breaking bread right now. I'm breaking bread right now. There's no way that I could be as fruitful unless I'm connected to the source of which I came from. He is the power source. God is the power source. And disconnected from him, my life is disjointed and disconnected. I don't really know what I was put here to do. And that's why we end up doing a bunch of things that don't yield us maximum results. We do a lot of things. Be fruitful. And you want to know why? I got to break bread right now. Be fruitful. That was a mandate. Don't you know we were created to multiply? Don't you? And the things the one thing that separate, I'm going to break bread right now. I am going to break bread. The one thing that separates a millionaire, a billionaire from the beggar is how they spend their time. Is how do they spend their time? My question is to you. See, your time, I talked about it go back to my YouTube page. I talked about it about 4 videos ago. Yeah, we trade our time for work. We trade our time for our job for money, and our money for things, a bartering system. So we're basically spending our time to get things. That's a misconception there. You were put on earth to do something much bigger than just work. You were born man, listen to your boy. You'll never maximize your greatness unless you put your whole self into something. And hitting that clock from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. I know right now we're in the midst of a COVID-19, but hitting that clock from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday is never going to yield your greatness. Now, you should be using that to develop your greatness. Like if you don't work in an area that's connected to what God called you to do, then you're wasting time. I just broke bread. It's time to get back to what we were created to be. It's time to get back to what we were created to be. You were born into greatness. He said be fruitful. And the challenge for some of us is that in order for us to yield good fruit, because you're going to be fruitful, whether it's negative or whether it's positive. I just broke bread. You're going to be fruitful because he created you to be that way. Because you're not creating fruit that lasts, or you may be creating negative fruit. It doesn't change the fact that you're fruitful. You see, out of your heart flows the issues of life. And if your heart is negative, if your heart is fearful, if your heart is selfish, it all shows on the outside. Because there flows you can only be fruitful in your heart. I just broke bread. That is a waging a war edition right there. I just broke bread. Whatever's in your heart manifests on the outside. If you're not living the life that you want right now, it's because there's something connected to your heart is drawing the manifestation on the outside. The issues of your heart, how it flows into the breaking bread right now. You were created to be fruitful. Whether it's good or whether it's bad depends on the condition of your heart. That's why I know Sarah, I talked about it this past 2 Mondays ago, is that we got to have a tight growth plan. Because without having a tight growth plan, you who your heart is, your mindset is. Without a strong growth plan, you're going to continuously stay on this cycle of reproducing average or negative, whatever you're getting right now. Without a tight growth plan, you cannot trick your heart into new manifestation. Boy, I just broke bread. You can't trick your heart into producing something that's not in you. You wonder why right there to well, I'm about to close the business deal, to walk in my greatness, and boom, it falls apart. Why? Because in your heart, you didn't truly believe that you're supposed to have it. Boy, I'm breaking bread. You didn't believe you would. Man, every time I get a good guy, he leaves. Why? Because there's something on the inside of you that when you get a good guy, makes you really think you don't deserve a good guy. So just what's in your heart end up running the good guy away. Where every time I'm about to get a promotion, something happens. Where there's something in your heart, out of your heart flows the issues of life. There's something in your heart that connects you to not being able to get that promotion. Let's not blame the white man. Let's not blame the black man. Let's not blame the Puerto Rican. Let's not blame they don't like me. There's something in your heart. And unless you have a strong growth plan with mentors in your life to identify these issues, you will continue on the cycle, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, like the hamster wheel, until you are able to change what's in your heart. You're going to be fruitful. I just broke bread. You are going to be fruitful. Now, your heart determines what kind of fruit you produce. That's why I always say you got to have a strong growth plan. You gotta tap back into your connection with God, your creator. I'm breaking bread up in here tonight. You were born into greatness. He told you, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, have dominion. He said, have dominion. Let me break bread, boy. How long I've been on this thing? Let me break bread. He said, have dominion. Yeah. My question is to you. I made a YouTube video today. I suggest y'all go back, Williams Inspires, go back and listen to the YouTube video I did today. I'm not going to break it all down today, but I talked about how most of us, he told us to have dominion. Most of us are still modern day slaves, that we're so deep in debt that we can't go 2 paychecks without everything we have in our life. That we're paying 25% interest on a, we're paying 10% on a car. We're paying 7%, 6% on a house. I don't know whatever the interest rate is. Whatever we have all this consumer debt, all this debt. We're paying 6% on a car, and we have all this debt, and now he told us to have dominion. We can't have dominion as long as I'm sitting under the yoke of debt. I can't own anything because I'm giving all my money to interest. Go back and check that YouTube video out. And he said, have dominion. Every time. And I remember when I learned this lesson. I remember when I learned this lesson, when I was just so boggled down and the thoughts of my debt and what all was going on in my life. I had a nice house. I had a nice car, recently divorced, and I had a really good job, but I didn't have 2 nickels in my pocket. I had a nice income, but I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Why? Because I was trying to put on, y'all listen to your boy. I was trying to put on like I was great on the outside, but on the inside, I was still had that poverty-stricken mindset on the inside of me. It wasn't until I made the decision to get rid of the car, to get rid of the house, to move into a 1-bedroom apartment, to leave the 1-bedroom apartment and move in with a colleague in the room the size of a closet so I could get from underneath that yoke of debt. I was born into greatness, but my decision-making, what the issues that flows out of my heart led me into that place. See, born into greatness. Now, I can't blame that on my ex-wife. I can't blame that on my principal. I can't blame that on my bosses. The man in the mirror got to take responsibility. Until the man in the mirror take responsibility for where he is, he will never be able to change his current situation. You were born into greatness, but you gotta go ahead and say to yourself that I gotta change my heart in order to get into my rightful place. Like I'm born with a crown, and most of us has traded our crown of greatness in for mediocrity. Oh, greatness is so hard. Oh, I want to do more, but I don't have time. Stop making excuses. You were born in it. You were born in it. You were born into it. You were born into it. And on the other side of it, there's a life that you don't even know you can have. Man, sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you all. The motivational teacher to the masses cry. Sometimes I look around, I see my kids playing, and I see my wife hanging out. Sometimes, man, it makes me want to cry. It makes me want to cry because I remember 10 years ago or 12 years ago when we had just got married and I had just gotten laid off, and we were 8 months pregnant, and I lost my job, I lost my benefits, I lost my car, and I remember us just struggling. And man, I look now and like I blinked and fast forward 10 years and like, man, this is the life I dreamed of. This is what I knew I saw on the inside of me, but it wasn't until, yeah. Thank you, Tanya. It wasn't until I changed the inside. And now the outside is starting to match what's on the inside. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we don't change from the outside in. Boy, you can dress up the outside. You can put all the Gucci. You can put all the Louis. You can put all the Balenciaga. You can put all the different names on the outside, but it doesn't change what's on the inside. And it's just a matter of time before the issues of your life flows. I'm breaking bread right here tonight. You were born into greatness. You were born into greatness, but you gotta own it. You gotta own it. Thank you. You gotta own it. You gotta own it. See, until, man, let me break bread. Until you believe, let me read it again. Except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abide alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. You gotta believe that you stem from the root of Jesse. I'm breaking bread right here tonight, y'all. You got to believe that you stem from the root of Jesus. You got to believe that you made in God's image and his likeness. Because until you get that picture of who you are, you will always allow yourself to settle for second best. You will always allow yourself to settle in the mediocrity and think what I have now is all that I'm supposed to have. You will always allow yourself to say, man, you know what? I'm better than so-and-so. I got it better than that person. I got it better than this. But it's not the life that you know God is giving you on the inside. I'm breaking bread right here tonight. It's not the life that you know God is giving you. If that is not it, you got to continue to grind. You got to continue to seek his face. You got to working as if, yeah, let me break bread right now. I'm going to break bread right now. Yeah. So there's some of us right now. That, you know, whether we're doing something. I remember I sold life insurance. I was a school teacher. I played basketball. I sold mutual funds. I was a stockbroker. I was in pharmaceutical sales. I was 9 or 10. I worked with kids at churches. I did speaking engagement. I was in different things at one time. But you know what the commonality is in all 9 or 10 things? I did each one of those 9 or 10 things to the best of my ability unto God. I did them to the best of my ability. I did them as though I was doing them unto God. I went hard at all of them. You know what the gifting was from that? Is that even if you're not doing, well, listen to your boy, if you're not in the business or doing what you think God has put in your heart to do it wholeheartedly as unto God, because that will be the thing that leads you to the thing. Until you are able to go hard, until you're able to say, man, I'm working as hard as I can in faith. See, one thing about out of the heart flows the issues of life. Another thing about the heart is it shows up. If you're not willing to go 120%, don't talk to me about faith. I'm breaking bread. Thank you for God gave us a spirit, not a fear, but a power, love, and self-control, or a sound mind. That's what he gave us. See, I love talking to my Christian brothers and sisters, because if you're the laziest person, talk to me. Don't talk to me, because unless the seed go down, it bringeth forth much fruit. That's not the root of Jesse. That seed don't look like Jesus. Unless you're willing to go in, and you're willing to go in and be the most productive person on the line, unless you're willing to go in and give more than what required of you, then you can talk to me about Christianity. Like I don't talk to lazy people about what I believe, because one thing I do know about faith, that faith starts at the end of your comfort zone. As long as you allow yourself to be average and allow people around you to be average, don't talk to me about it. Do not talk to me about it. I love my Christian brothers and sisters, but some of them are so lazy. They're so lazy and want God to do everything as if they don't participate, and like they don't have a control and say in their own life. I'm breaking bread up in here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am breaking bread up in here tonight. For out of it flows the issues of heart. Be fruitful. Yep. Multiply, subdue, diminish. Yep. Have dominion. We were given the foundation of the earth. Now, let me bring y'all back to today. Let me bring y'all back to today. Easter Sunday, the death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. One of the most important events in all of history. In all of history, one of the most important events. And truth be told, just about 85, 90% know the story of Easter. And it's broadcast on TV. We've seen all the Easter plays. We know it. We know all of that stuff. But my question to you is, how does that relate to you? We should not just be listening for knowledge. We should be listening for application. I'm breaking bread. We should be listening for application. How does that apply to your life? And when you look at the life of Jesus, how does that apply to your life? When you see him go through struggles, or you saw him go through heartaches, you saw him in the Garden of Gethsemane, you saw him have issues where friends turn their back on him. You would deny me 3 times before the cock crowed 3 times. You already know it. Friends turn their back. One of his friends was stealing money. My question to you is, why do you expect your life not to have hardships? Why do you expect your life not to have some things that doesn't happen the way you want to? We got to start listening for application, baby, not for knowledge. Yep, I know my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, but it's lack of knowledge. But it's about how do I make that knowledge applicable to my life today? My question is to you. How are you going to take this Easter to make your life different? What about this Easter you're going to walk away with and say, man, I've been birthed? Yeah, like the seed went down. My life should look just like Jesus is in this earth. I'm breaking bread right now. You can no longer sit in mediocrity. You can no longer choose to be average when you know you came from a seed of greatness. You came from a seed of greatness, and the seed is within itself. The seed you came from was so strong that it had the power to raise itself back up again. And you telling me that you can't pay off $40,000 worth of debt? You telling me that cake business you got on the inside of you? You telling me you can't start it? Are you telling me that degree you've been praying about, you can't go and get it when you came from a seed that raised itself up from the dead? You telling me that you don't have the strength or the doggoneness to get out this earth what you want? Man, somebody done told you wrong. You got to operate in your blood ball right. You got to operate in what you've been given from the foundation of the earth. Man, it ain't going to be easy. The betrayal, thank you, Medina, the betrayal and the pain that he went through was not easy, but it was necessary. It was necessary. And likewise, the same pain is necessary for you to attain everything you want out of this world. Hey, because it didn't work today, don't mean it won't work. Hey, don't put a period where God put a dash to be continued. Don't put a period where God put a dash to be continued. Most of us, man, I just broke bread right there. I don't know where that came from, but I just broke bread. Some of you all have put a period where God's saying, no, you can't. It ain't that you can't have it. You just can't have it now. You put a period there. You put a period there saying, it was never meant for me. No, your character wasn't ready for it. But keep developing yourself. Keep growing and keep. See, a tight growth plan. I keep coming back to this. A tight growth plan allows your heart to change. Yeah. Out of your heart flows the issues of life. Yeah. You need a tight growth plan. You need people in your life like the motivational teacher to the masses. You need people in your life that's going to break bread and share truth with you. You need people in your life that's not going to tell you everything you want to hear. You need people, or maybe you need to start asking the questions. Give me one positive about me and one negative. Give me one thing you like about me and one thing you would change. And start asking those questions to people you trust and to mentors or people you that know have your best interests at heart. And it will allow you It will allow you to get moving in the right direction. Got Medina chiming into this conversation. We are too quick to give up to avoid pain. Brother, you just broke bread. You just added value to this conversation. We give up too quick to avoid pain. We give up too quick to avoid a little bit of suffering. We give up too quick. And that's the reason, honestly, that's the reason why a lot of us are in so much debt. It's because we wanted it too quickly. We wanted it too quick. The reason why a lot of us have disjointed relationships, because we gave up too quick. The reason why a lot of us, our bodies out of shape, and we got diabetes and hypertension and heart disease and all these other things. Why? Because we wanted to live for the day, and we're not taking our body to this is my temple. It got to last me to do God's will in this earth, and we're not taking it. We're not putting off what I want for tomorrow for today. Like, you know that if you eat all this pork and all this stuff, your body will not be able to complete the journey. You got to take care of it. I love what you just said, Medina. You broke bread in this conversation. My mom said, develop, develop, develop. Amen. You better go in the dark room like a Polaroid, because other than that, the hamster cycle will continue, man. I got Elke chiming into this conversation. New beginnings. I love it. New beginnings. My new beginnings. Tonight, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't come to tear you down. I came to give you hope that to Elke's tonight can be new beginnings. If it's going to be new beginnings, then you got to change. You got to change from the inside out. That's a message to come from the inside out. You got to change from the inside out. I got Tanya chiming into this conversation, Ms. Director. Some people are afraid of succeeding because they have failed and given up so many times. Boy, you all are elevating this conversation tonight. Yep, Tanya, they put a period where God put a dash. It doesn't mean you can't have it. It just means you can't have it now. Listen, success and failure rise in the same car. Just because the only way you fail if you don't learn from that mistake. It took Kevin Dyson over 10,000 tries to create the vacuum cleaner. But you know what? I think it was 10,012 was the right one. But he found 10,011 ways that didn't work. Were those 10,011 ways failure? No, they were necessary to get to 10,012 in order to create a vacuum machine. So my question to you is, don't you stop on 9. Don't you stop on 10. Don't you stop on 100. Don't you stop at 1,000. You keep going. Get your desire in, man. You will birth it into greatness. You will birth it into greatness. Don't you dare give up on yourself. Don't you dare say what you can't do, because you were born the seed in. But if it died, it bringing forth much fruit. You are you're part of the root of Jesse. The seed went down so that you could come up. If the law of Genesis, if you want a peach, sow a peach seed. If you want a pear, sow a pear seed. You want an apple, sow an apple seed. If you want people of greatness, sow a Jesus seed. And then anybody that comes after him in that same spirit and likeness shall do exploits. I just broke bread. Yeah. Sarah, rather try and fail than not stand at all. Break bread. Anyone who's ever wanted anything had to overcome a lot to get there. Is the motto I live by. Amen. Like, if you want something, you got to go through something. And don't think you're going to have anything of greatness when you haven't gone through anything. It doesn't work that way. I talked about it on my last Motivational Monday that Tyler Perry lived years in his car while he was trying to fund his Monday plays. Now, at any point, he could say, this ain't meant for me. It ain't meant for me. I ain't want to. We want no TPS studios to be cried and whined and complained to the point he quit. And most of us, that's what we do. We cry, we whine, we complain until we quit. You got to keep going. The sacrifice determines the value. You know why Tyler Perry can give back? Because he remembered when he was. He remembered what it took for him to get there. He give back to help try to make it happen to other people. And we should be doing the same thing. Needed that, never giving up. Even if people will point out how you fail. Yep, you're going to have haters. And my motto is, if you don't have haters, you ain't living right. If you don't have people that's hating on you, that means you average. If you don't have people talking about how hard you work on the job, or to Tanya, how many lives you doing per week for your paparazzi, if you don't have people talking about how you think your business is better than theirs, or if you don't have people talking about why he stay after late and he ain't getting paid overtime, then you know what? You ain't about to grind. Until you ain't legit. If you want to be legit, get you some haters. Jesus had 12 and one of them with him was a hater. I mean, I'm gonna trade. He the one who turned them in. One of the guys with him was a hater. Pontius Pilate and the whole crew was hating. But you won't be great until you got no haters because you're doing things right. Then, man, you on your way. You blend in with the average folk. Man, y'all are chiming in this conversation with some good stuff. I really could do a whole nother motivational Monday based on what you all are saying. I love high-level people. Yeah, I love high-level people. The people that are on these videos, I know tonight is a waging war edition of Easter Sunday, but the people that are on these videos add value. Work ethic says so much about a person. The balance, give it to God. No doubt. Yeah, if you ain't willing to put the work in, you're going to always be hungry. You want one thing about poverty, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. One thing about poverty is that you're misusing your time. If you want to be able to grow yourself and grow your financial gains, you want to grow your money, then you got to make yourself a more value. People, I hate to say it, man. I'm breaking bread, and it doesn't sound good because I know I came from poverty. But people that are in poverty, we have to change our mindset and start seeing our time as our number one investment. And we have to use it in places where you have productivity. I'm breaking bread right now. And we got to be willing to go harder than the next person. You've been birthed and born into greatness. Hey, do not compromise who you are. If God gave it to you from the foundation of the earth, don't you dare not leave this earth without having it all to leave to whatever purpose or generation you want. If God gave you a nonprofit organization, you go after it with everything that's in you. If you believe that God gave you that on the inside of you is a daycare, well, you go get that daycare started right now. I mean, you start calling people that have daycares during the COVID-19 break. I did a YouTube video. One of the first ones I did last week was the gift of time from the COVID-19. Use this time to invest in yourself, because there's a life on the other side, man. On this earth, on the other side of your decision making. The eyes have not seen, the ears have not heard. You were born into greatness. Don't fight yourself from your birthright. You were born into greatness. You don't have to try to be great. You just got to invest in yourself, because greatness is on the inside of you. Man, boy, let me get off this. I am feeling good tonight, even when I was debt broke. Listen to you, boy. When I was debt broke, I had so much debt. I was debt broke, but even on the inside of me at that moment was a millionaire. But it looked like an acorn then. It looked that, but now I see the resemblance of an oak tree coming up. But it all started from the acorn that I knew that there was something special about me. I knew I wasn't meant to always rob Peter to pay Paul. Now I went through a phase of my life where I had to, and maybe you're going through a phase of your life you have to. But if we're not building a legacy that change our generations for 2 generations to come, then y'all, we're misusing and abusing our time. And if you're abusing and misusing your time, you'll never be able to walk in the fullness of God. You'll never be able to do it, because you're worse than an infidel. If you're doing those things, you'll never experience the fullness. We got to have the faith of a mustard seed. You should be leaving a legacy for your children, not to struggle. Tanya, you spoke in the mic and broke bread. You want to know why? Break bread right now. Can I do it? My wife and I, we have enough money for us to live on. We fine. The reason why I grind, the reason why she grinds, the reason why she allows me to be free to do what I need to do to grind, the reason why I allow her the space to be able to do what she need to do to grind is the legacy to come, baby. It's the legacy to come. It takes one to break the generational curse of poverty in a family. Man, I love y'all out there, man. Y'all get me so fired up. I love people that got a plan to be different. Man, I love y'all out there. Everybody chimed into this conversation. So also, by faith itself does not have dead. Faith without works are dead. We got to put it all together, boy. Y'all are awesome out there tonight, man. We've been birthed and born into greatness. Hey, I will be back tomorrow night, 8:30, Motivational Mondays. Please plan to meet us here again at 8:30 tomorrow. If you haven't, I say take tomorrow. I don't know how many of y'all are working or how many of y'all are home. Somebody furloughed. I don't know what your work situation is, but if you have time, go to Williams Inspires on YouTube, subscribe, like, and listen to each one of those tomorrow. Because tomorrow night I'm coming again and I'm bringing that fire. We gonna break bread again tomorrow night, y'all. Number one, I gotta say, no, Tanya, thank you all. Thank you. I gotta say, the people here tonight, y'all have been amazing chiming into this conversation, man. And I hope you all got something that's gonna help you be better tomorrow than you were today. That's always my goal and my prayer to God. God, after someone's listened to me, help them be better tomorrow than they were today. Until next time, I challenge you all to wage war on mediocrity. I'm out.